Jerusalem in 30 AD was not safe, and you would feel it immediately. You enter at dawn, but peace is nowhere waiting. Roman soldiers watch from rooftops. Smoke rises over stone streets. Donkeys shove through crowds. Merchants shout over nervous pilgrims, and every coin in your hand suddenly matters. Ahead, animals are dragged toward sacrifice as the temple towers above the city like a promise and a warning. This is not the calm Jerusalem from paintings. This is a holy pressure cooker of faith, hunger, fear, blood, and power. Stay with me, because survival starts before the gate closes. The first thing you would notice is not beauty. It is noise. Jerusalem around 30 AD was crowded, tense, and built on uneven stone ridges. Valleys cut around it like natural trenches, helping defend the city but also shaping who lived where. The higher areas were cleaner and richer. The lower streets were tighter, busier, and rougher. In modern terms, one hill felt like a luxury neighborhood, while another felt like the back of a stadium after a sold-out game, except with goats, tax collectors, and no bathrooms. The rich could live above the worst mess. Some elite homes had courtyards, decorated floors, and private ritual baths. That was ancient VIP treatment. Everyone else walked, carried, waited, sweated, and smelled the city at ground level. Workers cut stone, poured water, sold food, pushed animals, and cleaned mess. And that is where the first trap begins. In this city, even water could decide whether your day went smoothly or fell apart. Water was survival. Jerusalem had long, dry months, so pools, cisterns, springs, tunnels, and aqueducts mattered more than comfort. Without water, you could not drink, cook, clean, or prepare for worship. No tap, no plastic bottle, no quick stop at a gas station. Water was also sacred. Many pilgrims needed ritual washing before approaching the temple. You went down into a mikveh before going up toward the holy courts. That sounds peaceful until you picture thousands of travelers arriving dusty, hungry, nervous, and carrying animals that did not sign up for this religious experience. From the Pool of Siloam area, pilgrims moved uphill toward the Temple Mount, along a stepped street often called the Pilgrimage Road. In 2026, reports described this ancient route as open to the public after years of excavation. But in 30 AD, it was alive. Merchants shouted, coins hit stone counters, children cried, families argued over prices. A father probably said, "We are almost there," for the 7th time. Each step made the temple look larger. The climb made your body feel the weight of worship. Yet beneath parts of that road ran drainage channels. Decades later, when Rome destroyed Jerusalem in 70 AD, people hid below those streets while the city burned above them. The road carried pilgrims upward, but history was already waiting underneath. At the top stood the Temple Mount, expanded by Herod the Great into one of the most stunning sacred spaces in the ancient world. It covered roughly 36 acres. That is not a huge courtyard. That is a stone platform built to make human beings feel tiny. Herod did not just build for faith, he built for power, image, and legacy. The temple was beautiful, bright stone, gold catching sunlight, massive courts, long porticos, crowds stopping in awe. But the closer you came, the more rules appeared. Gentiles could go only so far. Women had limits. Men had limits. Priests went deeper. The high priest entered the most sacred space only once a year. The building did not simply guide worship, it sorted people. Then your nose joined the story. Modern movies make ancient worship look clean. Real Jerusalem would hit you like a truck. Animals bleated, doves fluttered, smoke rose. Priests handled blood, fire, fat, meat, ash, and incense. Pilgrims sweated in the sun. Streets collected waste. Incense tried to cover the smell, but that was like spraying air freshener in a subway car after barbecue. Gym socks and wet dog joined forces. The sound was just as heavy. Merchants called out. Coins clinked. Animals complained. prayers rose, priests worked, and over everything, Roman eyes watched, because the temple may have been Jerusalem's heart, but Rome had its hand near the city's throat. Around 30 AD, Pontius Pilate was the Roman prefect of Judea. His job was not to make anyone comfortable. His job was order, taxes, and loyalty to Rome. During major festivals, Jerusalem became risky. Huge crowds gathered to celebrate sacred memory, while foreign soldiers stood nearby with weapons. Imagine celebrating Independence Day while another empire controls the parade route. Rome did not need to fight every hour. It only needed to be seen. A soldier at a gate, a fortress near the temple, a patrol above the crowd, a cross outside the walls. Crucifixion was Rome's nightmare billboard. It warned everyone what happened when power was challenged. So while pilgrims climbed toward God, Rome reminded them who controlled the road. That tension made ordinary moments dangerous. A market argument could become a security concern. A preacher drawing a crowd could attract suspicion. A rumor could spread faster than truth. Jerusalem was not dangerous because violence happened every second. It was dangerous because any second could become violence. Then came money, and money made holy things complicated. Pilgrims needed food, lodging, proper coins, and acceptable offerings. Sellers' new demand was high. If you have ever paid $12 for airport water, you understand the emotional damage. Now imagine the airport is also tied to your religion. Suddenly the price feels less like business and more like pressure. Poor families felt this most. They had traveled far, spent energy, carried children, and saved coins. One trip could cost more than expected. Faith was priceless, but getting close to the temple still had expenses. That contradiction sat in the streets like dust. The city welcomed pilgrims, then charged them at every turn. But money was not the only danger. Your own body was one bad day away from trouble. A small cut could become infected. Bad water could ruin a family. A toothache could become a nightmare. Heat, crowds, animals, and stone steps could turn a normal morning into a disaster. There was no ambulance, no antibiotics, no urgent care clinic behind the market, and if you searched your symptoms, it was probably one neighbor saying, "My cousin had that and died." Food was simple for most people: bread, olives, lentils, figs, dates, fish when available, and wine mixed with water. The rich ate better, the poor stretched meals. Street food existed, but not in the fun food truck way. More like, "I hope this stew and I remain friends by sunset." After dark, Jerusalem changed again. No electric lights, no bright stores, no police car rolling through the block. Gates could close. Alleys turned black. Lamps were weak. If you moved late, people noticed. If you were outside the walls, you were exposed. If inside, you still had thieves, patrols, suspicion, and narrow lanes where help arrived slowly. Daytime Jerusalem was crowded. Nighttime Jerusalem was watching you back. And yet, people kept coming. That is the strange power of the city. Jerusalem was dangerous but magnetic. People came because it meant memory, worship, sacrifice, identity, and hope. The temple was not just a building, it was the center of a world. Still, every strength carried a shadow. Herod's platform was massive, but it could not erase poverty. The temple was sacred, but it could not remove exploitation. Rome brought order, but also fear. Markets helped pilgrims, but also squeezed them. Walls protected the city, but also trapped pressure inside. By 70 AD, that pressure broke. Roman forces destroyed Jerusalem and the Second Temple. Roads became battle zones. Drainage channels became hiding places. Stones that looked permanent fell. So, could you survive one day in Jerusalem around 30 AD? Maybe. You would need strong legs, sharp eyes, patience, coins, a good nose, and sandals tough enough for stone, animal waste, and human traffic. You would need to know when to speak, when to stay quiet, where to stand, and who to avoid, because the danger was never just swords. It was the whole system pressing on ordinary people from every side. Ancient Jerusalem was not a painting. It was smoke, stone, blood, prayer, water, soldiers, markets, class, fear, and hope. The scariest part is not that it feels strange. The scariest part is that it feels familiar. Jerusalem in 30 AD was not just ancient history. It was smoke, pressure, faith, fear, and survival. If this video changed how you picture the holy city, like and subscribe, because our next ancient world may look beautiful from far away, but once we step inside, the truth gets much darker.